Good evening, comrades, good evening, friends, good evening, countrymen and women. On 1st June, the Electoral Commission of Zambia made a public announcement and invited suitable members of the public to apply for the role of polling staff to participate or aid the Electoral Commission of Zambia in conducting the elections which fall on 12 August. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with what polling staff is, these are simply people who are employed on a temporary basis by the Electoral Commission of Zambia to assist the general public, or to assist ECZ in this case, in ensuring to say that they run the elections properly and timely. Polling staff are those people you're going to find in the polling stations who are going to help you by giving you ballot papers. They are going to help you by putting ink on your thumb once you vote. And they are also going to help in the actual counting and tallying of the votes. These are drawn from general members of the public and are not drawn from any political party. They are supposed to be neutral people. Now, at the moment, ECZ, in its usual ways, has shifted the goalposts. It has changed, or rather infused, very, very demanding requirements for you to become a polling staff. Some of you applied for that and are successful because the names came out today. If you want to check if your name has been, if you are successfully employed by ECZ to be a poll staff, you should just go to Lusaka City Council page on Facebook. Go to Lusaka City Council page on Facebook and check if your name is there. So far, I've checked for all the constituencies in Lusaka. There are names which I don't recognize. Now, one of the key qualifications for one to participate or to be employed as poll staff by ECZ was minimum grade 12 certificate. That is what they wanted. And that was what was in the guidelines. Okay? These ECZ guidelines. That was what they wanted in their guidelines. They wanted basically a grade 12 certificate from you who were applying to ECZ to become polling staff. That was the minimum qualification. Any diploma or degree above that was considered to be added advantage. Now today, the requirements have changed. And ECZ has been very, very deceptive, very cunning, and very untrustworthy in this issue. Remember about 3 days ago, there was the issue that came up to say ECZ now wants polling agents. Now, polling agents are those people who we supply ourselves as political parties to be our observers in the polling station. Those are polling agents. Differentiate them from polling staff. Polling staff, you are under ECZ, you are employed to be to assist ECZ in carrying out the elections. It was said that ECZ wanted even agents, polling agents from political parties to also have COVID clearance certificates. And I personally made a call. To the PRO of ECZ, Patricia Luhanga, on Thursday. And I asked her to say, is it true that ECZ now wants polling agents to provide COVID certificates on top of your grade 12 certificates? She said, I'll get back to you. That was around 11. I called her again around 16. And she said, no, actually, ECZ can confirm to say that we are not requiring agents or anybody else to provide the polling, to provide the COVID-19 certificates. She made that clear. But today I was surprised. I'm very, very surprised and very taken aback that actually it is a requirement for polling staff. Now, polling staff are general citizens who apply to ECZ to be employed as a polling staff to assist ECZ in carrying out the elections. These people are required to provide COVID clearance certificates. That was not a requirement in the guidelines. That was not a requirement in the guidelines of ECZ. No political party, no stakeholder was informed to say that polling staff should have COVID clearance certificates. They are putting in conditions which are becoming more and more difficult to meet by the day. Now, you might be wondering why. Why do they want COVID clearance certificates? The answer is simple. ECZ has always been in the armpits or under petticoat of PF. They are stooges of the PF. They are allies of the PF. Because if they were not, they would have been making decisions in consultation with all stakeholders, opposition, churches, civil society organizations. But they just wake up one morning and say, no, now we want COVID-19 certificates. Do you know how much a COVID-19 certificate is? Just a COVID test alone is 1,500. 1,500. That's what they want. And it's in the circular which has been released by Lusaka City Council. Because remember, the district elections officer for Lusaka and for other towns as well, it's your town clerk. In Lusaka, the district elections officer is the town clerk. That is the office that is responsible for recruiting polling staff. That is where you were asked to apply. Now, this office has responded to say, here is a list of names of the people who've been successfully selected to become polling staff. Now, can you provide us with COVID-19 certificate? That's what they're saying. Before you are trained, you have to produce a COVID-19 certificate. How many of you are going to produce those COVID-19 certificates? Because one COVID certificate is about 1,500. COVID test. As if that is not enough, they also say no, that COVID-19 certificate has to be valid for 48 hours. Now, I want you to listen carefully. These are measures which now, the measures which ECZ is putting in place, or should I say, the measures which the PF have told ECZ to put in place, is to make it so difficult for people to be recruited as polling staff. Because those polling staff, if they are general citizens of the public, chances are that they are neutral. In fact, chances are that they're supporting the UPND. Because any normal person, any decent person would want to support the UPND. They want change. But that is not to say that those polling agents are going to be manipulating votes in the ballot box. The only thing that they are going to do is to stop PF from manipulating the vote. So they don't want them there. How do they do it? They bring in a requirement. Overnight. Boom! Atukulefwa ikama COVID-19 certificates. Who's going to get those? Who's going to afford those COVID-19 certificates? How many? Because the majority of you who are applying there, you are jobless youths. Mulefwa kuka piece work so that you get a 2,500 from ECZ at the end of the day. From 2,500, walaf nyapo 1,500. You go to Kalingalinga clinic. One of the few places I know where you can get a COVID certificate. You get tested. And you pay 1,500. What is 2,500 minus 1,500? 1,000. What is the 1,000? That's what you remain with. That's if you are going to take that stance to go and get a COVID certificate. But otherwise, this is a barrier to people who applied, who have successfully applied to be selected as polling staff by ECZ. It's a barrier and it's an exclusionary measure. It is meant to exclude those that have qualified from becoming polling staff. They want to reduce the number of people who are going to be in the polling station. The only thing they want is their own thugs, their own riggers to be in those polling stations. That's what ECZ wants. And that's what this COVID certificate requirement is all about. And we should condemn it. We should shoot it down. Shame on ECZ. Shame on those people for waking up at the 11th hour, trying to catch us off guard. Trying to catch the people of Zambia off guard. Trying to put conditions which the majority of people who want to be polling staff are going to fail to meet. How many of you have got the 1,500 just to go and get a COVID certificate? And they want it. And they want it for valid for 48 hours. Now, I was about to explain this 48-hour requirement. Okay? I've got my own in-law who recently married my sister. He's based in the UK. He's a British citizen. He's a British citizen. Okay? Now, I learned this when he was flying out. What major airlines like Emirates, Ethiopian Airlines, Delta, what they want, when you're getting on board, you must have a COVID clearance certificate. And it must be valid for 48 hours. Which means you need to get that COVID certificate 48 hours before you board the plane. If it's more than 48 hours or if it's more than 2 days, you're going to, if you go and board after your COVID certificate has been there for 3 days, you are not going to get on board. You're not going to get on board Emirates, you're not going to get on board Ethiopian Airlines or any other major airlines. There is the 48-hour rule. You must get on board in short before your COVID certificate expires in 48 hours. That is the 48-hour rule which now ECZ is bringing on poor Zambians. In other words, if you go to ECZ, if you are selected as a polling staff and you go to ECZ and you got your certificate and it's over 3 days, they will say go back. Why? Because the assumption, which the airlines, the notion which also the airlines use, is that if your COVID certificate is going to be over 2 days old, chances are that on day 3 you would have contracted COVID and you pose a danger to the public. So that's the same rule now which ECZ wants to use, the 48-hour rule of COVID certificate. So in short, it's not enough for you can't go there and say, here is my COVID certificate, I got it 2 weeks ago. Or I got it 1 month ago. It's not valid. You have to get a fresh one. And it has to be 48 hours old. If it's over 48 hours and you go and present it as to the ECZ to be trained as a polling staff, you don't qualify. Do you see how draconian these measures are? They are just meant to exclude people. As we are speaking, other issues have emerged. Up to now, can you imagine? Up to now, they haven't started the accreditation process. The ECZ has not started the accreditation process for either polling agents from political parties or even polling observers and monitors from NGOs and churches. And there is confusion in ECZ. If you call the PRO Prasha Ulanga, she'll tell you something else. You call Patrick Shindano, he'll tell you something else. You call the returning officers who have been distributed along the constituencies, they'll tell you something else. It's total confusion. They are not following their own guidelines. Even the forms for you to fill to be an observer or polling agent, they are confused. And I have these forms. At first, we were given this form. What do I call it? Form what? EC12. Okay? Declaration of Compliance by Monitors and Observers. That is the form that we were given. This is the form we were given for polling observers from NGOs, from churches, from the media. You have to fill this. Even political parties were given this same form. This was the form that was given. Today, it's a different case. The form has changed. This is the new form. This is from what? Gen 1. Gen 1 now is the new form. This is the form which, the new form which ECZ wants. So, mwamona ukruk wabantu aba, rigging ire moneka no kumoneka, because not only have they not accredited any person. We are only about 19 days away from the election. Nobody has been accredited from political parties. Nobody accredited to monitor from NGOs or churches or the media. Nobody has been accredited. And then we are told to say, form na ichinja. Gen 1. From EC12, katuishinga ni ECL awene, from ECL12 to Gen 1. So what are we supposed to fill? What are we who want to put forward our polling agents supposed to fill in? Because they even want your NRCs to be certified by commission. Fionsafe in 2016 and 2015, even years back. In fact, from independence, from as far as back as 1964, Fionsafe takwali. There was nothing like this. There wasn't all these onerous and useless qualifications which they want to put for one to become a polling agent or polling staff. The whole idea is they want to block as many Zambians as possible from being in those polling stations so that they can rig the elections with impunity without even being disturbed by anybody. But therefore, if you become a thugs, they are cadres, vakandire in the polling stations. That is what is happening at ECZ, as I'm telling you now, as I'm talking to you now. There is total confusion going on at ECZ. Deliberate confusion to confuse political parties, to confuse the public, to confuse polling staff. Those of you who applied, check your names. Go on Facebook or on Lusaka City Council and check for your names. Which constituency you've been successful. But that is not enough. If you gave them the grade 12 certificate, they want another certificate. a COVID certificate, valid for 48 hours. If you had your COVID certificate 7 days ago, sorry, it's not valid. You need to get another one. So countrymen and women, this is the kind of regime that we have that has totally captured the ECZ. When we say by ECZ is a branch of the PF, they say, no, you're playing politics. You are the ones who are playing politics. You give the political parties, fill this form, no, fill that form. You tell us, no, there is no reason for you to get COVID certificates today at get COVID certificates. Always shifting goalposts. Even up to now, nobody has been accredited. Now, tell me, how are you going to accredit almost 50,000 people in the space of 1 week? Because you are still training polling IT staff. You are still training. ECZ is still training IT staff. Polling staff, they are going to start training them on 29. 29. Only 11 days away from the election. Elo Mwambo who training Shama polling staff. Then after polling staff, that's when you are going to have the briefing for polling agents, political parties. How many days away from the election? 2 days away. Are you being serious? You are setting, ECZ, you are setting us up as Zambians to fail in this election. You want to cause panic. The ECZ wants to cause panic in this election by dragging time. By now, all NGOs, all churches, all media, you should have had your accreditation cards with you as I'm speaking. Our polling agents should have had their accreditation cards as we are speaking. All IT staff should have been trained. All polling staff should have been trained. Now we should have just been counting down, waiting for the day of the elections. That is what we should have been doing. But here we are. Nanomba. Tapari over pay accreditation card. Nobody has been given an accreditation card by ECZ. They are dragging their feet. They are taking their time. Why? Because they want Ifin to fikabe last minute. Then they just rush through things. Polling agents, polling staff, you want to be properly trained. You won't even know what to expect in the polling station. Wang for TN. You won't even know if there will be ink, if your stamps are anybody for stamp ballot box. We don't know if it's going to be there. We don't know if even Gen 20 they are going to be there. We are only told no, Gen 20 this time will be printed along with ballot papers. So there are so many, in short, there are so many issues that the ECZ is doing wrong. So many things that the ECZ is doing wrong. And they have to be challenged. I've seen the question to say, yes, what are you doing about it? Push them hard until they do the right thing. Jihad, Hebron. Yes, we are doing that. As a matter of fact, our election chairperson, Gary Nkombo, and the Secretary General were on yesterday, that was Friday, they were at the Electoral Commission of Zambia. They said we have so many people of our polling agents who have submitted all the requirements so far. The certified NRCs and the filling in of your declaration forms. We have done that. And we want this thing to be expedited. Start giving these people accreditation cards now. Because we have over 60,000 people just for UPND. If UPND has 60,000, PF maybe has another 60,000. And these other political parties maybe have a 30,000. How many people are you looking at accrediting? You are looking at maybe 200,000 people. So far, nothing has been done. There are only 19 days to go before the election. How are you going to certify 200,000 people or accredit them in a go? Those are the issues. Those are the issues. So, countrymen and women, that was my update for today. ECZ is playing hide and seek. They are playing with fire. And they have to be stopped. They have to be challenged. We know what you are trying to do as ECZ. You are under Pitcourt, PF Pitcourt government. PF. You are stooges of the PF, puppets of the PF, spineless puppets who do everything that you are told. No integrity, no sense of patriotism. What are you patriotic to? People who are destroying the nation, you still want to play ball with them, play along with them when they are telling you to do wrong things. That should come to an end. And we are equal to the task as UPND. We're going to ensure to say that by next week, Monday, we gave them an ultimatum. Monday, we should see accreditation starting. Polling agents, polling staff, you haven't trained them. Those polling staff, they are ECZ babies. You haven't trained them. But our agents, our polling agents, we want them by Monday. They are ready as we speak. By Monday, we want our polling agents to start being given those cards. We've got other things to do and organize. Monday, we want our polling agents to start being given those accreditation cards. That's the call we are making. And if you're a polling agent anywhere where you are, please share this. If you're a voter, share this. It concerns you as well. You're a stakeholder in this election. Your voice counts as well. So that's all that I had for you today. The bottom line is that ECZ has put in a condition for the requirement of COVID certificates for polling staff. Polling staff are those people that are employed by ECZ to manage the elections at the polling station. They want not only a grade 12 certificate, but they also want a COVID certificate valid for 48 hours. So ngawapokele COVID certificate yobe last week, it has expired. You need another one. The cheapest is 1.5. Kumbi kwa private clinics ni 2,000. Bakufundisha 2.5 of ECZ. It's a loss. That's what ECZ is up to, and we are equal to task in the challenging them on that. Finally, keep your voters card and NRC safe. 12 August is coming. Vote for President Hakainde Hichilema. Vote for the UPND. Vote for change. Vote for removal of a dictator and the government that messes up everything. They mess up elections. They mess up the economy. They mess up education. They mess up healthcare. Everything they touch turns to dust. We don't want those people. So thank you very much. This video is going to be uploaded on YouTube as well. So if you're on YouTube, just go to Mainda Simataa, type Mainda Simataa. Those are my names. Subscribe and ring the bell so that you can get regular updates on elections. This is what I had for you. ECZ is misbehaving as usual. It's now confirmed they want COVID-19 certificates so that they can reduce the number of people who are in polling stations to keep an eye on the elections. They want to rig. But that's not going to happen. Whether they like it or not, our polling agents and poll staff are going to get their accreditation. Media is going to get their accreditation. CSOs are going to get their accreditation. Civil society, they will get it. The churches, you are going to get your accreditation. By Monday, if it means camping outside ECZ for the next 1 week, we are going to camp there. We are not going to wait in our homes to be told to say, now come and get accreditation. No, we are going to go and sit with ECZ and camp there for the next 1 week. And camp there until the elections, so that they can see to say we are serious with business. Thank you very much. Good night and God bless.